The front forks were not even. The springs, I guess the forks had frozen at different lengths, which presents a bit of a problem. Now I'm also noticing the entire frame is kinda twisted. I wonder if somebody wrecked it. These are rusted solid. There's no play in them, and the forks are different lengths. So I ordered a new handlebar. Couldn't find any that have the springs on them. It's kind of a bummer. My screen's fogging up because it's hot and muggy out. New set of forks. The plate's a different height, and ultimate length is a bit shorter on both ends. I guess I'll see if this fits on that. I don't think it will, but it might, because I also knocked out those very crusty bearings in some sort of holder. But looks good. As suspected, that thickness of metal is keeping this thing from fitting here. Probably cut these welds, lower this down. But I also don't like that's in line with that, whereas this other one is triangular. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut these off here, just the entire fork, just gone. Cut this off. Yeah, make sure the tire's going to fit nice where I want it. It's a bummer that I lose the front springs, but if I ever find a correct front, I'll just do that. But I'm going to go ahead, cut these off, cut these off, and then just weld them on as solid front end. So I think this is pretty clever. These springs actually retain the lower and upper sections of the frame. So when they stretch, they hopefully don't stretch far enough for the separator to come loose and you lose your forks and on the compressed normally. So this lower just slides on this upper tube, which is great news because I'm cutting up above this tube. I probably have to cut these cups off. They're welded all the way around. Possibly cut this weld. Cut the handlebars up here. Cut those up there, clean that off. I'll have that long tube to just come down. Or I'll just cut that section of the tube off and weld it here. This cup's welded to the tube down here. I just need this to be able to slide here. And the screws, really just twist them to get them out of these little cutouts. And the spring comes separate. Now I'll be buying new springs because these are eat through pretty bad, and the other one I did kind of nick the spring. Now, onto that. This guy, I ground off all the rust all the way around, hit it with a torch, got it really hot, squirted oil on it to hopefully get inside. I don't know how much of the rust is going to be in my way. I mean, it might be rusted all the way down, who knows. But I'm going to start hitting it with a hammer and see what happens. And now, all I have to do is some welding. Get those guys. Come on, stick. Yeah, I guess I'll have to get the hot glue gun out. Anyhow, got those guys cut off at the right length. Got these guys at the same length. Got a V around. Make sure it's nice clean metal I'm welding to on both of them. We can get some angle iron that I can shove up in here to make sure that this pipe is straight with that one. Same on this side. Eventually, if I can get the bottom parts off of the old forks, I can just cut these off at whatever the correct length is, and I'd have my pipe. Yeah, I'd have to make new bottom cups. The cups on the other ones are totally rotted out. I'm going to leave these top cups, they're in decent condition, so I won't have to worry about those. Just make new bottom cups and possibly make new bottoms. Yeah. But I've got to figure out bearings for this. The ones that were in there are obviously a little gone. I thought about just making some brass bushings to press in there, top and bottom. It'd be fine, but I'll probably have to make new bearing carriers and press some bearings in. I can do that easy enough. Let's see. Anyway, one thing at a time. Gotta get these guys welded, and that will probably be tomorrow. I thought this was interesting. Here is so there's one of these, top and bottom. There's a cup with a thick top plate. The bearing, I guess it was pressed in it, and this edge was rolled over. So to retain this cup and hopefully some of that lip to set the depth for the bearings, I chucked one of them up in the lathe, so I still have that lip popped off the top of it, and then I pressed out the bearing with my press. So whatever bearing I put in should have a slightly proud surface here, or just a thin washer or bushing. Gonna go ahead and check this one up and see what I can do to it. Well, I can do this one this far, put a groove in it all the way around, and let's see what the press does to it. And exactly what I wanted. Broke where I made it weak, and that bearing should come right out. And now just a little bit of cleanup. Find the appropriate sized bearings and your steering will be taken care of.